All right, what's next?
Herb writes, "Hello, AMC Gladiators. I watch the show every day, and I'm going to get dumped if I keep giving more attention to you guys instead of her, LOL, but oh well." Putting his lady on blast. So question, why is it that movies before 2000s have that classic title to them and can be rewatched over and over, but we can easily get tired of watching today's movies after the third time? If I see the Sandlot or Goonies movie rebooted today, it will feel cheesy. Something about 80s or 90s tone, I guess. Will the next generation look at our movies as classics? Thanks, and keep up the great work.
I think it just depends, you know. As people get older, then they're going to look back, on today's movies as classics. You know, when I think of classics, it always comes into my head 1950s movies and before. But then I kind of have two determinations for classics, like, you know, a classic movie like, I don't know, I would think like Godfather or something like that. Then I would think of Goonies as a different type of classic movie, one that I just love because it was part of my youth, and I think it's a lot of fun. What are some? What do you guys think of as classics?
I mean, I think the 80s and 90s you consider them classics because that's the generation when we were kids that we grew up. So there's a layer of nostalgia that gets associated with that, where they may not be considered the AFI greatest 100 movies of all time, but we love them because they hit us at the prime age to be influenced by a picture. Yeah, I mean, you go back, and Citizen Kane is a classic film. There's movies that are being made today that we're going to look back on. We just don't have the eyes of age looking back and being like, oh man, that you know, Ex Machina was such a great classic, different movie. Maybe we'll remember that in 100 years. There's going to be movies that come out this summer or next summer or in December that you remember 50 years from now as being classic. We just don't have that scope yet.
There are a lot of movies, by the way, that you can watch from the last 15 years that you can watch more than 2 or 3 times, for sure. But I understand what the viewer is asking, and I agree with what you guys are saying, is that it's all about memories. It's all about how you felt when you watched that movie when you were younger, and what you were going through in life at that time, and who you were with, and all that stuff. And look at AMC Jedi Council yesterday. We mentioned the prequels again, and then myself, you, and John Roker was on the show. Not the biggest fans of the prequels, but we acknowledge that there are people out there who grew up with them and hold them near and dear to their hearts. And there was an angry commenter going, "Why are you guys making fun of the prequels?" Yeah. Because to him,
no, we never get that. What are you talking about?
But to him, that his memories and what he was doing when he saw that movie, it meant something to him. So even if the majority of people think that Attack of the Clones is gaffish, he might love it, and he might think to himself, he can watch that over and over again because he saw it with his grandfather, you know, or he saw whoever he saw it. So you're absolutely right. It's about the memories, the nostalgia, and you know, and obviously the quality of a lot of films too that you can rewatch over and over again.
Yeah, if you guys follow me on like Twitter or Facebook or Instagram, I was watching The Cutting Edge last night, and that kind of falls in the other classic category, you know, where it's not like a classic film like Lawrence of Arabia, but to me, because I watched it when I was younger, I think I saw it when I was on a cruise ship, and they had it playing on the thing the whole time, and you know, I love that movie.
It's like Flash Gordon for me.
Yeah,
yeah. I can't Ellis tried to make Ellis watch it like
not a good movie.
3 years ago.
Not
Couldn't get through it. I can watch that movie anytime. I acknowledge it's horrible, but it was big after watching Star Wars and then seeing that movie and just being in sci-fi nerd heaven. I'm like, oh, this is the best movie ever. It's terrible, but you remember all these moments, and it's still, you can now watch it because of those memories.
Yeah, see, I like actual classic movies that influenced me when I was a kid, like
Garfield,
Encino Man. Oh. It's
Biodome.
a good movie. No, I didn't like Biodome. I walked out of the theater Biodome. That was the day that I was like, no more, Paulie. But Encino Man, Son-in-Law, good flicks.
Sinead, what would you consider classic films as someone who's younger than the rest of us on the panel?
Allegedly.
Well, I was thinking while you guys were talking, in terms of like nostalgia, and this is like, you guys can all make fun of me for this, but the very first movie I ever saw in theaters was Titanic.
And, that hurts. Yeah. Ooh.
I mean, that was the very first movie I ever saw in theaters. I want to say I was 5 or 6.
I was in college.
Yeah.
And my girlfriend made me go.
Yeah. Well, I mean, so that's the thing. Like, I was born in the 90s, so I didn't watch a lot of movies till the end of the 90s, you know? So, so Titanic to me is a classic in the sense that that's like nostalgic memories, and I will always remember like what it was like going to my first theater experience.
Yeah, my girlfriend, her classic movies are A Goofy Movie and Good Burger.
Yeah, I could go for it.
No, she's 27, but those are just the movies that hit her when she was a kid. And so, you know, I'm a lucky guy.